they act. If you don't occupy the white squares of knowledge, they will. So we have been, like you said, we're even losing the hardwiring now to even ask moral questions. We're unable, because it's been handed to us. Tying into what Pat was asking about, why inaction? Well, why would you act? You have had your will stolen. You have an allegiance, a subconscious allegiance with Big Brother. Big Brother hands you illusions of newness, but only hands you more of the same, right? Subscribes to social fantasy, appeals to social fantasies. We have a subconscious dislike of change ourselves. And we're about 5 minutes old from having kings and priests to look up to, right? We call ourselves modern. 5 minutes ago, we lived in communities in which you did as you were told, and by God did you do that, and you were punished immensely severely for not doing so. So the idea of even freedom, as we know it today, is incredibly short-lived. Then you factor in, right, this concept of the trauma that we talked about with the ego, the fragility of what it is to be conscious. We identify with that strength. We identify with those father figures. If we don't have one with one another. And so these people know this. They know how to work on us, to sell us the idea of globalism and transhumanism. It's all psychology. I think that the physical side should definitely be taken care of. We're gadget fixated. Yes, I'm worried about that. But I'm infinitely more worried about the subliminal allegiance that we have, right? Because ultimately, as I've said from day one in my work, all of this tyranny can be deconstructed, boiled down to a war on consciousness. And it is, for me, that's what I go, force talking about. Other things are interesting, but they're far less interesting on the war on consciousness itself, because that's what the real war is. But unfortunately, that also entails our allegiance to that. We are, in some way, submissive and conformist in many of the things that we do. And we buy into even purchasing the money power that we have. It's one of the things that we can deconstruct this life. It's what we do with our markets. So, but on all levels, but when I'm talking more about psychology. So how do we then find the immunity? There's where Ayn Rand and people like that come in, because she's saying, look, unless you learn to really define what evil is, right? If something keeps eroding your concept of what immorality is and what evil is, in the end you won't even remember what good is. You won't even know what good is, and that's where we're at right now. We're keeping on the edge, where the average child is working from such a, they're not immoral, they're amoral, they don't even know. Now there's many reasons for this, but the teaching of a child discernment, well, you can't teach it, but you can bring it out of them, right? This whole concept of being able to smell evil a mile away is eroding. And so people sign on for horrible, horrible things. I'm always showing posters and mottos from these, advertisements and things. And you see what this is saying, and people don't. We've been trying to awaken people up to just see what's right in front of them. But unfortunately, it will always be only a small group of people. It's never going to be the whole of mankind, because people are victims of complete, not only hypnosis, right, sort of a mind control that we've always used the term, right, but auto-hypnosis. I don't seem to be able to get this through people's heads. It's not just a simple matter of brainwashing and collective mind control. There's also the factor of auto-hypnosis, the ability of a person to hypnotize themselves. Meaning that we have ideas about ideas. We have ideas about the world, and we have ideas about our ideas about the world. We're not actually in touch with the world. We're not actually in touch with reality. Our forefathers were much more in touch with reality, in touch with animals, in touch with husbandry and the cycles of nature. We live in these bloody artificial cities and artificial houses. Isn't that a form of imprisonment? So, as you'll see more, as we unpack it more in the presentation, you'll have all your answers there, because we went into that in great, great depth.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Michael.